Hey everybody, just doing a little bit of a showcase today on my British artillery from Minden Miniatures. This is for the 7-Year War range that I'm using for my British for the French-Indian War. Yeah, so quite pleased with how these came out. And actually it might sound like I say that every time, but the last time I painted up a group of British artillery like these, which I have to the left here, you'll see in a second, I wasn't that pleased. It was one of those kind of miniatures where I didn't feel like I kind of gave it my best. I don't know if I rushed through it or if I was only doing 4 of these blue artillery, you know, for the British. I'm used to doing red coats that I just hadn't gotten it down quite how I liked. But I always kind of looked back and thought it was a bit of a rush job and wasn't quite happy with them. Well, these ones I'm actually quite pleased with. I have actually highlighted them up a bit more than I did in the past. I've worked on the faces more. I did realize, I don't know how many astute folks out there who hadn't pointed it out to me to correct me and just sort of let me do it wrong, but the actual 6-pounder for the British is supposed to have their sort of, I guess their powder boxes, or maybe where they keep their cannonballs, I'm not sure. But they're supposed to have them up here side by side next to each other on these platforms that are on the cart, you know, that holds the cannon. And I had actually just taken one of them and wedged it in the back in between the boards of this wagon, and like I've seen on other cannons, and I didn't realize this one was supposed to be like this. So I ended up actually ripping out the one I did in my first cannon and repairing it, and then getting both of them to look like this, to just make it more accurate. So I've actually put the cannon on a base now, and so I'm using it on a base, and I'll have my guys where I can pull in and out as there are casualties for musket tomahawks in sharp practice. And so, yeah, trying to think of what else there really is to say here. I don't think there really is much. I'm going to pull out here and just show my other crew next to them. So I ended up lightening up the other guys that I had, and I ended up going over some of the yellow with a bit of a brighter yellow that I'd like to use for these to have it stand out more. And I think I matched them pretty nice. I also painted the eyes and worked a little bit on the faces of the older ones. I didn't kind of I didn't go over everything that I did before, but I kind of just brightened up the reds, brightened up the blues, did some highlighting, did some of the eyes, got them to match more, and I actually fixed this cannon to be like the other, and then as well I put that cannon on a base too, so now I have this sort of, for the British, you know, nice battery here, I suppose. Yeah, and now it's really time to determine what's next. You know, I actually have we have the holidays coming up, and I'll be going away for the holidays. What I think I can hope to do really between now and the holidays is just get started on French artillery. I think rather than start the big group of hatmen or fusiliers for the French, I'm actually going to do both a gun placement, like another artillery with 4 guys, just like I had before. Unlike these ones, I was quite pleased with how I did my artillery. I have to take a look at them again, but I was happier with my French artillery when I did them. I actually really quite like the French uniform for artillery. It's red, but it's not. It's a little bit different. It doesn't have the yellow like the British, so it's a bit kind of like almost like Canadian colors. It's like red and white. It has a very different look, just not having that yellow in it. And as much as I like the British uniform, I like that difference when I do the Canadian artillery. And so I'm going to work on a French 4-pounder and for artillery, and I'll see what I need to do. I think I'll end up putting them on a base as well, like the artillery. I think for the French, I also don't have it on a base. I don't, so I'm going to put that one on a base and do kind of the same thing I did here. And then I also have an officer figure on horseback for the French that I didn't have in the order for the British. So I think I'll do that and get that out of the way and work. It would be nice. I'll work on that. And then after that, I'll actually hit the big group of French after that, and that'll likely be in the new year. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this little bit of British artillery. I always think it's interesting how the artillery uniforms are almost opposite the regular ones. But yeah, I think these were fun to paint. I actually really enjoyed these this time more than the last time. It was really quite enjoyable. And I'm looking forward to doing more French Indian War stuff. I hope you guys are enjoying it too. And I will talk to you later.